Hi everyone, it's Tamari the Astro Fashionista. Welcome to my channel. I'm always bringing you the latest astrology, fashion, beauty, interior design videos, mainly astrological forecasts. And today we are going to talk about March 2019, which is really exciting. So we have a big month coming up, you guys. There's lots of activities, and make sure that you watch the video not only for your sun sign, your zodiac sign, but also your rising sign and your moon sign. I actually find that the rising signs might be a little more accurate because it's closer to what might be actually in your birth chart or natal chart. So without further ado, let's start talking about March. Okay, so I'm going to start out by giving the general forecast, what's going on for the entire month, and then I'll get into specifics for each sign. So Friday, March 1st, we had Venus move into Aquarius. And Venus is the sign of love and beauty. It's Taurus's and Libra's ruler. And when it moves into Aquarius, Aquarius is an air sign. It's very eccentric. It's very forward thinking. It doesn't like to play by the rules. That means we're all feeling a little more like feisty and rebellious when it comes to love, beauty, creativity, all of that stuff. So that was Friday. On Tuesday, March 5th, this is a big day, you guys. We have Mercury retrograde. I know everyone cannot stand Mercury retrograde, but it doesn't have to always be a bad thing. So Mercury retrograde is actually when Mercury, the communication planet, which is Gemini and Virgo's ruler, appears to be moving backwards. It's stationary, so it's not moving forward. And that can be a time of confusion. There's problems with travel, electronics, communication. So it's really not advised to sign important contracts. It's not advised to travel if you really have to. It really affects more short distance travel, but all travel can be affected. It's not a great time to like send really important emails. Like if you are going to, which we know life goes on, just make sure you recheck before you press send. And if you're signing any contracts, just make sure really to read the fine print. That same day, we actually have, actually not the same day. And I also forgot to mention that Mercury will be in Pisces still when it's retrograde, and Mercury is actually considered to be both in detriment and fall in Pisces, which means that it's not really that comfortable there. So we got to be extra cautious this go around. The next day, Wednesday, March 6th, we have a new moon in Pisces, and it is Pisces season. So when there's a new moon, there's going to be a new moon in the sign that season it is. So new moon in Pisces is all about new beginnings. It's a great time to start new activities, but keep in mind Mercury is retrograde, so it's not really a great time to like launch a business or start a new relationship. This is more about maybe going back to something that you've already done in the past and redoing that over, or finishing something that you haven't finished. That same day, you guys, this is a huge astrological placement. We have Uranus moving into Taurus, my sign. Uranus is the planet of change, unexpected change, disruption. It likes to shake things up. And Taurus is all about stability and keeping things status quo and being really stable and seeing things through to the end. So when Uranus comes into Taurus, which is considered in fall, it's not really a comfortable energy. The important thing about this is that it's going to last pretty long time, till about 2026. Yes. Okay, so Uranus in Taurus is going to bring lots of change on a global level, not just personally. Globally, we might see changes to the financial system. We have Bitcoin, and we're kind of maybe moving away to a different type of currency. Maybe cash is going to go away. Who knows? Maybe there's going to be a new form of currency that comes in to replace credit. We'll see how this plays out. But currency probably will be definitely affected. Agriculture, the way we harvest food. There could be changes to the way we communicate about things. Big, large issues being brought to the forefront. There could be issues regarding, let's see what else Taurus rules. Just overall stability and security, maybe national security. Pretty much anything that falls under Taurus's domain, and Taurus rules the throat. It's all about money, security. There is a creative aspect to Taurus, so there might be some creative global things that are new that come about. But this is going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Uranus only moves into a sign every 84 years. So we'll not be in Taurus again in our lifetime, unless somehow we start living to like 150 or something. And even then it still wouldn't be back in Taurus. But yeah, it's a pretty special thing. It just came out of Aries. So those were Aries issues we're dealing with. Now we're dealing with Taurus issues. If you are a Taurus, this is definitely going to affect you. I'll talk about it in the Taurus horoscope specifically. But yes, it's going to be big changes. And we got a glimpse into what these changes were last year when Uranus moved into Taurus for a brief period before it went retrograde back into Aries. So that was between May and November of 2018. So think about what happened during that time, and we might be revisiting. Last time Uranus in Taurus, I believe there was like the Great Depression. So if you go back in history and Google Uranus and Taurus, you can kind of see what kind of things we might be dealing with again. And the Social Security system was set up during that time. Okay, then we have Wednesday, March 20th, the first day of spring. That means the sun moves into Aries. It's the spring equinox in the northern hemisphere, fall equinox in the southern hemisphere if you live below the equator. And this is all about new beginnings, you guys. Spring is always a fresh new time. It's actually International Astrology Day. It's the beginning of a new astrological cycle because Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. And so in the Western Hemisphere, this is just a new start for the next 12 months as we start a new zodiac cycle. And obviously Mercury is still retrograde during this time, so it's not going to be a up and moving type of start, but it is going to be a fresh new start. We also have a full moon that same day in Libra, and Libra is Aries opposite sign. Every time there's a full moon, it's in the opposite sign of the sign the sun is in. So my advice would just be to be a little more diplomatic around this time, take on Libra traits, because Aries is a very self-focused sign. And then on Tuesday, March 26th, we have Venus entering in Pisces. So it leaves eccentric Aquarius. It enters into romantic and compassionate Pisces, where it's a little more softer. We might feel a little more romantic. We might feel a little more creative and wanting to express ourselves. So it should be a pretty nice time when Venus moves into Pisces. And then Thursday, March 28th, Mercury retrograde ends. So I know that's going to be a really great thing. Everybody's going to be excited about. Obviously, well, not obviously, I don't know if many of you guys know that there is a shadow period before retrograde, Mercury retrograde starts, and after Mercury retrograde ends. So although Mercury will be moving direct, it'll still be moving kind of slow. So just give it about a week or so before you really like make any major moves. But for the most part, we should be safe after the 28th. And then on the last day of March, I believe March 30th, yes, we have Mars entering in Gemini. And Mars in Gemini will bring the focus on communication issues. It'll bring it on maybe media. We might see some more scandals coming out. There's been a lot of tea, you guys, over the past. February was a hot mess. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what type of energy Mars brings to the forefront. Mars is all about action and starting something in aggression. And when you mix it with Gemini, it could mean some sort of like, you know, something's exposed, or there's some sort of verbal arguments or some sort of intense thing that we see maybe on a global scale, but also in your life. So keep watching to see how these astrological transits affect your sign. Okay, this is the horoscope for Taurus sun sign, moon sign, and rising sign. If you don't know where those are in your chart, you can always go to my website, astrofashionista.com, and click on your zodiac. You can run a free birth chart. Okay, so Taurus. Lots of things happening for you, Taurus, this month. Okay, so Friday, March 1st, Venus moved into Aquarius. And Aquarius rules your 10th house of public image, how you want to be seen in the world, career, but more importantly, your destiny. With Venus in this area, it's really blessing that part of your life. So if you're looking to maybe narrow in on what your life purpose is, or you need help around that area, or if you need help at work, you're really going to be supported this month with Aquarius in that Venus and Aquarius in that area of your chart. And then on Tuesday, March 5th, we have Mercury retrograde, and Mercury is retrograde in Pisces in your 11th house. The sun is also there, and there's also going to be a new moon there on March 6th. So Mercury retrograde in your 11th house could mean, it can manifest a few different ways. It's really a time for you to be a little more cautious about what you say when you're in a group setting, what you say to your friends. Technology can really be a hindrance for you during this time because the 11th house is ruled by Aquarius, and especially since Aquarius rules your 10th house, there could be issues with like technology at work. Really watch emails, all of that sort of thing. This is always true for any Mercury retrograde, but since it's in your 11th house, I would say even more so, be a little more careful. If you are looking to for a fresh new start, this would be possibly a good time. Like say you were considering joining a group in the past, or Toastmasters, or some sort of networking thing, or some sort of association that's going to move your career forward. This would be a good time to really go back and say, okay, now I think it's time to join after the new moon. We also have Uranus moving into your sign, dun, 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 on March 6th. And this is huge for you, Taurus, because Uranus does not like to be in Taurus typically. Tauruses don't love change. I'm a Taurus. And we're all about seeing things through and the status quo. And Uranus is really, quite frankly, the opposite. It's all about shaking things up, bringing change, disruption, and just changing things so that there can be a new way of being. So this, you got a glimpse into this last year in May, starting May through like November. Uranus was briefly in Taurus, and now it's here to stay for the next 6-7 years. So there's going to be a major overhaul for Taurus to your personality, to your way of being. It could be manifest as like a health thing, something around your body that changes. Doesn't have to be negative. Uranus is always about, it's unexpected, right? So we don't know how it's going to manifest. It could be a psychological thing, like a change in the way you deal with other people. A change to like you really sticking up for yourself. The Taurus is born in April, like beginning of April. This is going to hit you first because it's in the first degrees of Taurus. And then as it moves along, it will make its way through the zodiac, the Taurus decans, and eventually hit all us Tauruses. But I would say it's not something you should fear. It's something that's only going to happen once in your lifetime because Uranus stays in the sign every, it only goes into a new sign every 84 years. It moves signs every 7 years, but 84 years have to pass before it goes into that sign again, basically. So that should be exciting. We also have Mars there. So Mars has been in Taurus, and Mars is all about action, and you might be feeling like you're wanting to go after things, really start new projects. Again, be careful because we do have Mercury retrograde. But Uranus and Mars together, they're not really a good match because Mars is all about action and moving forward and power and fighting. And then Uranus is all about shaking shit up. So when you put those two together, it's like, it's a little crazy. So just watch out, be a little more careful this month in particular with driving, anything, working out, just, watch those sorts of things. And then on Wednesday, March 20th, it's the first day of spring. The sun moves into Aries in your 12th house. And this is, again, I said in the Aries video, anytime the sun is in the sign before yours, it's more of like a just settling and waiting for the sun to enter and energize your sign. So you might just feel like retreating more at the end of the month, focusing on like your dreams and your subconscious and things like that. And then also we have a full moon in Libra on that same day in your 6th house of work, service, health. So again, this is emphasizing maybe there's something that happens in your work life because we already have Venus here in your career. 6 is more of your day-to-day work and service. So there could be something happening there, or it could manifest as something around your health. Maybe you finally commit to like a workout routine or something along those lines. Maybe you have to help someone in some way, be of service to someone in some regard. And then on Tuesday, March 26th, we have Venus is going to move from Aquarius into Pisces into your 11th house. And that's, again, helping you network. It's helping you be more charming in group situations. It's helping you maybe meet a partner in a romantic way, or possibly, you know, maybe you're hanging out with your partner more towards the end of the month while this transit is happening, and you guys are going out and networking together. So that's after Aquarius moves into Pisces. I mean, Venus moves into Pisces. Then Mercury retrograde ends on the 28th. It will go direct. Next month, I'll talk about it being in Aries in your 12th. But that's always exciting. And then at the end of the month, we have Mars leaving your sign and going into Gemini in your second house of finances and material items. So that could mean you're feeling really energizing about making more money. It could be you spending more money, excuse me, not necessarily in a bad way, but just more, I don't know, Mars is all about fast energy, right? So anytime it's in a house, you're like doing more of something possibly. So maybe watch the spending a little bit. But overall, you might just be more motivated to make more, which is always great. So thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel, like this video, and I'll see you in April.